What happens when a civilization reaches its peak, when gods walk with kings and the world trembles at the sound of its chariots? Welcome to the New Kingdom, the golden age of ancient Egypt. In this episode, we unveil an era of towering temples, legendary pharaohs, radical revolutions, and awe-inspiring discoveries, from the imperial campaigns of Thutmose III and Rameses II to the spiritual shakeup of Akhenaten, the rise of Hatshepsut, and the eternal mystery of Tutankhamun. But how did one woman challenge millennia of tradition to rule as pharaoh? And why was a teenage king buried with more gold than any emperor in history? Stay with us as we uncover the height of Egypt's greatness and the secrets it left behind. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology. Leave a like and ring the bell so you won't miss the next episodes in our journey through one of the world's greatest civilizations. The New Kingdom, c. 1550–1070 BCE, marked the height of ancient Egypt's empire, a time of unparalleled power, wealth, and territorial expansion. This era began with the expulsion of the Hyksos by Rameses II, who reunified Egypt and laid the foundation for the 18th dynasty. The New Kingdom saw Egypt extend its influence far beyond the Nile, with pharaohs like Thutmose III and Rameses II leading military campaigns that stretched Egypt's borders into Nubia, the Levant, and even parts of the Hittite Empire. During this period, Egypt transformed into a true empire, with pharaohs as both divine rulers and military commanders. The New Kingdom was also a period of intense religious development. Trade and diplomacy flourished during this time, as Egypt maintained strong connections with other civilizations, such as the Assyrians, Hittites, and Mitanni. Egypt's wealth was bolstered by the resources of conquered lands. The prosperity of the New Kingdom is also reflected in the grandeur of the Valley of the Kings, where many of the pharaohs, including Tutankhamun, were buried with their treasures. Hatshepsut, one of the most remarkable rulers in the history of Egypt, defied tradition by becoming the first powerful female pharaoh during the New Kingdom. She ruled for over 2 decades, overseeing an era of prosperity, peace, and monumental building projects. As a woman in a position typically reserved for men, Hatshepsut legitimized her reign by adopting the full regalia of a male pharaoh, including the false beard, and was often depicted in masculine form in statues and carvings. One of her greatest achievements was the expansion of trade routes, which brought wealth and exotic goods to ancient Egypt. The most famous expedition she ordered was to the land of Punt, a region likely located along the coast of the Red Sea. This successful trade mission brought back valuable goods such as myrrh, frankincense, gold, and exotic animals. These resources not only enriched Egypt, but also reinforced Hatshepsut's status as a capable ruler who could enhance the kingdom's economy. Her reign was also marked by significant architectural accomplishments. She commissioned the construction of the magnificent mortuary temple of Deir el-Bahari, a grand structure dedicated to the god Amun and herself. This temple, with its terraces and colonnades, remains one of the most impressive examples of ancient Egyptian architecture, symbolizing her divine right to rule. It served as both a religious site and a testament to Hatshepsut's vision for the future of Egypt. Unlike many other pharaohs, Hatshepsut focused on diplomacy rather than military conquests. This period of peace allowed her to concentrate on internal development and cultural achievements. However, she did lead successful military campaigns early in her reign to secure Egypt's borders, including campaigns into Nubia and the Levant, maintaining Egypt's influence and stability. Despite her success, Hatshepsut's legacy was nearly erased from history. Hatshepsut ruled as a pharaoh in a world made for men. If history had remembered her from the start, how differently would we view female leadership today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below after watching. After her death, her successor, Thutmose III, who had served as her co-ruler during her reign, attempted to remove her name from monuments and records, likely to solidify his own claim to the throne. For centuries, her achievements were largely forgotten, but modern archaeological discoveries have restored her place as one of Egypt's most effective and influential rulers. Hatshepsut's reign set a precedent for other powerful female leaders in Egyptian history, including Cleopatra, who also faced challenges in legitimizing her rule in a male-dominated world. Hatshepsut's success in navigating the complexities of power, diplomacy, and trade during her time ensured that she remains one of the most significant figures in the history of ancient Egypt and its long legacy as one of the world's greatest civilizations. If this deep dive into Egypt's golden age is inspiring you, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology. Give this video a thumbs up and turn on the bell so you don't miss our next historical journeys through time. Akhenaten, one of the most controversial pharaohs in ancient Egypt, initiated a radical shift in religion during the New Kingdom. His reign, c. on 1353 and 1336 BCE, is often referred to as the Amarna period, named after the new capital city of Akhenaten, which he established. Akhenaten's greatest legacy was his attempt to transform Egypt's polytheistic beliefs by promoting the worship of a single god, Aten, the sun disk. This unprecedented move toward monotheism disrupted the traditional religious structure, which had centered on the worship of deities like Amun, Ra, and Osiris. Akhenaten's religious reforms began early in his reign when he declared Aten as the supreme deity, diminishing the roles of Egypt's other gods. He elevated Aten above all others, positioning himself as the sole intermediary between Aten and the people. This new theology was reflected in art, where depictions of Akhenaten, his wife Nefertiti, and their children often showed them bathed in the rays of the sun, symbolizing Aten's divine favor. The pharaoh's decision to abandon the powerful Amun priesthood caused significant social and political upheaval. The temples dedicated to Amun and other gods were closed, their wealth diverted to the worship of Aten. The construction of Akhenaten, a new capital city dedicated entirely to Aten, further alienated the traditional religious institutions based in Thebes. This move away from Egypt's spiritual and political center represented a dramatic break from centuries of religious and cultural traditions. While Akhenaten's religious revolution was bold, it was not widely embraced by the population or the elite. His monotheistic policies disrupted the economic and social structure of Egypt, as the priesthood of Amun had wielded considerable influence over the kingdom's wealth and religious practices. This led to widespread dissatisfaction among the priests, officials, and common people, who had long relied on the protection of Egypt's traditional gods. Akhenaten's reign ended with his death, and the religious revolution he initiated collapsed soon after. Akhenaten erased the gods to follow one. Was he a visionary ahead of his time, or a ruler who nearly destroyed Egypt's soul? Let us know where you stand in the comments. His successor, Tutankhamun, famously reversed these reforms, restoring the traditional polytheistic beliefs and moving the capital back to Thebes. Akhenaten's monuments and references to Aten were defaced or destroyed, and his name was omitted from many official records. This attempt to erase Akhenaten's legacy was part of a broader effort to restore Egypt's religious and political stability. Despite the failure of Akhenaten's monotheistic revolution, his reign remains one of the most fascinating periods in the history of Egypt. His attempt to challenge the established religious order and redefine the role of the pharaoh left a lasting impact on the kingdom. Though short-lived, the Amarna period highlights the tension between religious innovation and tradition in one of the world's greatest civilizations. Akhenaten's bold experiment in religious reform stands in contrast to later rulers like Rameses and Cleopatra, who sought to reinforce Egypt's traditional religious structures. His reign, however, set the stage for future debates about divine authority and the role of the pharaoh in maintaining Ma'at, the balance between the gods and the people. Tutankhamun, often referred to as the Boy King, ascended to the throne at around 9 years old and ruled during the New Kingdom, c. 1332–1323 BCE. His reign followed the tumultuous period of religious upheaval under Akhenaten, his predecessor who had attempted to establish monotheism with the worship of Aten. Upon becoming pharaoh, Tutankhamun played a crucial role in restoring the traditional polytheistic beliefs and re-establishing the worship of Amun, reversing the drastic changes initiated by Akhenaten. Though his reign was relatively short, Tutankhamun was instrumental in stabilizing Egypt after the religious and political chaos of the Amarna period. One of his first acts as pharaoh was to move the royal court back to Thebes, the traditional religious capital, and restore the temples of Egypt's old gods, particularly Amun. He also returned the wealth and power to the Amun priesthood, which had been diminished during Akhenaten's reign. This re-establishment of the ancient religious order helped mend the relationship between the pharaoh and the powerful religious class, ensuring greater stability within the kingdom. While Tutankhamun's reign is not remembered for significant military campaigns or major political reforms, his legacy lies in his efforts to restore order to a fractured Egypt. He oversaw the repair of monuments and temples that had been neglected during the reign of Akhenaten, and his advisors, particularly the influential Vizier I and General Horemheb, guided many of these decisions, helping him navigate the complexities of rulership at such a young age. What makes Tutankhamun one of the most famous pharaohs in history is the discovery of his nearly intact tomb in 1922 by British archaeologist Howard Carter. His tomb, located in the Valley of the Kings, was filled with an extraordinary collection of treasures, including the iconic golden funerary mask that has become one of the most recognizable symbols of ancient Egypt. The discovery of his tomb provided historians with invaluable insights into the burial practices, art, and wealth of the New Kingdom, as it was one of the few tombs that had not been plundered by grave robbers. Despite his early death, likely at around 19 years old, Tutankhamun's legacy has endured for millennia. The treasures found in his tomb, such as the golden shrines, jewelry, and intricately decorated chests, have captivated the world, offering a glimpse into the opulence and religious significance of pharaonic Egypt. His reign may have been brief, but his posthumous fame has made him one of the most well-known figures in ancient Egyptian history, alongside greats like Rameses and Cleopatra. Though Tutankhamun's efforts to restore the traditional order were significant, his successors, including I and Horemheb, continued to solidify Egypt's recovery, preparing the way for the 19th dynasty and the empire's resurgence under rulers like Rameses II. Today, Tutankhamun remains a symbol of Egypt's incredible wealth, artistry, and the enduring mystery of the ancient world, influencing later civilizations, including the Romans and the Ptolemies under Alexander the Great. Empires rise, gods fall, but their stories remain. Thanks for watching, and see you in episode 4, always here on Best of History and Mythology.